Yeah, if you, by the way, if you need to adjust the sound, if you open that door, there's a little box, you see that's lighted, and the one by the blue light is the one that really controls the sound. Okay. And I'm ready when you are.
Okay, we are in English 2332.01 in Miss Brooks' class. Okay, I didn't have a good reason for picking Medea. I just liked the name because of the movie. It attracted me to it, but it proved to be a breathtaking horror story. And the quote that I liked most was when Jason was talking to Medea about her faith, and he says, after everything she has given up for him, he says, "I have come here looking out for your best interests, woman, so you won't be without the things you need when you go into exile with the children." This is when Jason shows his true self, even implying that she should be grateful for his sacrifice of marrying another princess. Euripides was trying to point out the hypocrisy of the people of his time, believing that a woman is lesser of a person than a man. A couple of interesting facts that I found about the author Euripides was he was known for fighting for free speech, and also he was liked so much by his rival Socrates that after he died, he got his actors and actresses to dress in all black just to honor him. The book, The Trial of Socrates, was the most interesting source to me because Euripides admired Socrates so much, and it tells about how his views were scrutinized. And it contained many details about how outspoken he was concerning the free speech and the common man and woman, and in fact it was his most used theme throughout all of his Greek tragedies.
Okay. My name is Taylor Trammell, and I chose this literary work because I actually performed in a few plays in high school, so I always found them very interesting and I love to read them. The quote I found interesting was from Medea's nurse, and it says, "Rulers are fierce in their temperament. Somehow they will not be governed. They like to have power always over others. They're harsh and they're stubborn. It's better to live as an equal with equals." I found this meaningful because it's actually really true in today's world with leaders. They think that since they're powerful and have money that they can do whatever they want. The two facts I found interesting about Euripides: he competed in the annual Athenian dramatic festivals, and he won the first of his 4 victories in 441 BC. The second one is that he left Athens in 408 when he was invited to live and write in Macedonia, Greece by the king. He died in Macedonia in 406 BC.
My name is Summer Roberts, and I chose the play because when I first heard the little summary of it, I thought it was really interesting. I love stuff about people dying, so that's why I chose this one. The quote that I picked was, "Stronger than lovers' love is lovers' hate, incurable in each the wounds they make." And I thought that that was especially true in the play because she hated this man so much that she killed her own children and his new wife and father-in-law. The facts that I have, he wrote approximately 90 plays, but only 19 survived through manuscripts. He was born in Athens, Greece around 485 BC, and his mother's name was Cleito, and his father's name was Nisarchus.
Okay, my name is Haley Poe. I chose this play because, honestly, the movie Medea is one of my favorites, and it has the same name. The quote I found was, "He could have thrown me out, destroyed my plans. Instead, he granted me a single day to turn 3 enemies to 3 dead bodies, the father, the bride, and my own husband." The reason I picked that was because it kind of showed the basic plot outline in one quote. My 2 facts are Aristotle said that Euripides was the greatest of the Greek poets, or the most tragic of the Greek poets, and Medea was first produced in 431 BC.
My name is Rebecca Cornett, and I chose this play because of the love affair and the revenge that goes on through it. It sounded very intriguing because there are different love affairs in a lot of movies today, so it's intriguing to a lot of people. My quote that I chose was, "I know indeed what evil I intend to do, but stronger than all my afterthoughts is my fury, fury that brings upon mortals the greatest evils." I chose this quote because Medea has the evil. She kills her own family, and she does it because she's mad. She's really mad about Jason leaving her, and so that's why I chose it. And my 2 facts about Euripides was that his plays often had strong, complex female characters who were avengers despite being victimized in some way, which is exactly what Medea is. She's very strong and she's very complex, but she's being victimized of Jason because Jason is really, really mean to her. And Euripides was also married twice, just like Jason, and he had 3 sons.
Okay, so the most important characters are basically all of the characters because there's not that many and they all play a pretty important role. We have Medea, Jason, the chorus of women, Creon, Aegeus, possibly, the messenger, and the nurse. So Medea is the protagonist in this play, and in my opinion, there's not really a hero, but she would be considered the protagonist. She wants revenge on her husband because he leaves her for a princess. She kills her 2 children, and the princess and the king of Corinth, and she gets exiled. So she has to find somewhere else to go. So Jason would be considered the antagonist because he hurts the main character by leaving her. At the end, he wants his children's bodies to bury, and to further hurt him, she takes them with her when she leaves. The chorus of women is different women in Corinth, and they trust Medea, and they ask her not to kill her own children, but they don't really try to stop her in any way. They just kind of watch as everything goes down. Creon is the king of Corinth. He exiles Medea because he's afraid of her, and he's the father of Jason's new wife. Aegeus is how I guess you pronounce that. He's the king of Athens and a friend of Medea. They run into each other, and he promises to keep her in his home and not give her up to people once she does what she needs to do, as long as she helps his wife bear a child. The messenger, basically the only thing he does is he comes back and tells Medea that the princess and the king have died. And then the nurse, she lives with and takes care of Medea and the children. She's loyal to Medea, and she's upset with Jason for what he did. And then the children, it's Medea and Jason's, obviously. It's 2 boys, and they're not in the play very much, and they're oblivious to everything that's going on, and they're killed by their mother in their home with a sword.
And by the way, I'm Cheryl Morris. The setting of Medea was in the morning before all the horrific events that unfolded throughout the day. The place was at the doorstep of Jason and Medea's house in Corinth, Greece. It was around 431 BC, at a time when women were treated completely inferior to men, and gods were viewed as majestic and kind for the most part. And they were at a normal house on a common street with common people who were ruled by King Creon. It begins with Medea's nurse wishing that they could change all the series of past horrific events that had happened.
I did the plot. Like she said, the story starts out with Medea alone in her house, locked, crying. She didn't eat, sleep, or drink anything. When she finally decides to come out, she tells them not to judge her because she lost her husband. The tutor of the children comes and tells the nurse that Creon is deciding to exile Medea for fear that she will kill his own daughter. Then Creon comes and tells her that she needs to leave, where she begs him to let her stay for a day to kind of get things in order for her kids and herself for the exile. But that's when the actual plot begins. She then decides how to kill basically his entire family, and she decides that she's going to take and give the princess gifts that bear poison. When she gets the children to deliver the gifts, kind of as a ruse of like, oh, I'm okay with this now, I'm not going to kill you, and she gives a crown and a robe laced with poison that will burn the princess. When the princess receives the gifts and then dies because she puts them on immediately, her father comes in and sees her dead body and throws himself onto her dead body and cries, and then in doing so kills himself with the same poison that killed his daughter. The messenger then arrives to tell Medea that the king and princess are dead. So that enacts the second part of her plan, which is to kill her own children. So she goes into the house with a sword and slays both of her children to spite Jason. And when Jason turns up, she's sitting on the top of her roof with a golden chariot gifted by the gods with her dead children's bodies there. And Jason begs for her to leave the bodies there with him so he can embrace them one last time, and so that he can give them a proper Grecian burial. But then she denies him that as a last kind of in-your-face thing to him, and then flies away.
Okay, I had the literary devices. I found 3 of them that I found were all throughout the play. I found irony, symbols, and similes. For the irony, the first part that I thought was the most compelling was that she killed her kids to hurt Jason, but in the end she ended up hurting herself because she killed her own kids. She no longer has her kids anymore, so she has the sorrow of the loss of her children. The second one was that she poisoned the princess for putting poison on the robe and on the crown because of royalty. But she's jealous because she is royalty and he left her for a princess. And at the end of the play, she escapes on the chariot, but a chariot's more royal and for the royalty. So it's kind of ironic how she escapes on something for royalty, but she is jealous of the princess because she is royal. The symbols I found was Helios, Hecate, and Apollo. Helios represents the power and the gifts that Medea gives the princess. The robe that's on fire symbolizes the power and the heat of the sun, and Helios is the sun god, which is also Medea's grandfather. Helios gives Medea the chariot to escape, symbolizing that he will always be there protecting her and watching over her. And Hecate represents the feminine side of Medea. Her desire for her children and the sorrow she feels for Aegeus not having children is part of her feminine side. And Apollo represents the inventions of music and sympathy. The chorus wonders if Apollo had been on Medea's side, then maybe she would have been more sympathetic and she wouldn't have killed her own children and the princess and Creon. The symbols I found were both close together in the play, and It is, her glare is as fierce as a bull's, and that's said by the nurse to the chorus. The chorus is trying to get the nurse to tell Medea that they're her friends and she should come out and console with them and talk to them and make her feel better. And then she's like a lion who's just given birth. She's very mad and very fierce, and she does not want to do anything she doesn't want to do. So she is going to stay in her house and be very mad at everything.
Okay, the themes that I came up with, the most important one was revenge. Of course, Medea is trying to get revenge throughout the entire play. She wants revenge on Jason, she wants revenge on the princess, and she does so by killing the princess, Creon, and her children. The second one is passion and rage. She has so much passion to get back at Jason, and so much passion to show that she loved Jason and would do anything for him, and when he betrayed her, she was furious. The third one is feminism. During that time, women were seen as not very important, and Medea knew that. Medea knew that since Jason left her, that she had nothing, so she had to do everything in her power to get back at him before he did something. So obviously we chose a song because it shows that when you steal other people's things, you can get revenge on them, just as Medea, she got revenge on Jason and the princess for stealing Jason. Thank you for listening to our presentation.
Yeah, you can let people in now.